Hey, it's Chuck.
And Val.
And once again, we're at 8 Minutes of 8 Ball. And today we're interviewing
My dad.
Mr. Warren Batts. He's over here. We were back in a moment. Thanks. How you doing, Warren?
Not good.
Oh, you're always good. We need. What we like to do is give us. You're like world famous, and we'd like to know a little bit about your history. Like where you started out from, where you came out, how, why you got into music.
Well,
And we'll break this up in about 8.5 minutes, and we'll catch.
that's where I started out back in the 50s. Me and my brother. At Christmas, he got drums and I got guitars, and we were probably, I'd say 3-4 years old.
In the 50s, you was like 3 or 4. I had to get closer because I think the air conditioner unit's going to bust us out.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
So, born in West Frankfort, home of the Mayberry police car.
Was it made there, I guess, or? Oh, okay, cool. I did
It
not.
now resides there.
All right.
And of course, all my relatives, like my Uncle Jack was a violin maker. And my dad was a singer in quartets and played a little bit of guitar and that kind of thing. And we were kind of stuck in the family.
You come from like a really, and we talked to Val about that. You come from like a really talented, multi-talented family. I mean, the Batts family are famous for, like you said, violin making, sculptures, music,
Bad luck.
conjuring up demons on a farm. With the
Conjure up the Bell Witch.
Yeah, the Bell Witch. And you played with Bill Haley and the Comets too. But that's a little later on, though, ain't it?
Yeah, that was a lot later on.
Well, go ahead and give us some more of your details.
So started out first real band. It was called the Crescendos. It was real early 60s, late 50s.
What kind of guitar are you playing there?
Kalamazoo.
I've heard of that.
That was Gibson's cheap brand.
Was it an original band, or did y'all play big band, or?
You was playing bass then, though, wasn't you?
No, I was playing guitar.
Oh, I can see.
Alan Peoples was playing bass.
Slide on up in your bag.
Guy playing guitar, he's playing a. Guy playing guitar is playing a Burns from England guitar that had Wild Dog on it. Flip it over to Wild Dog and it was wild, let me tell you.
Well, like I said, was that big band music, or
No, that was
originals, or?
the early 60s music, just cover stuff.
Y'all doing surfing music at that time, or like before then?
No, that was before the surfing really got going, We played at Ninth Floor Exhibition Hall for KXOK in St. Louis. Had a big battle of the bands up there. And a lot of stories from that band.
You got any you can share, or they all just road stories? You got to stay on the road.
Well, we had a 1948 Cadillac hearse.
Well, that's pretty
A
interesting.
bandwagon that I bought from SIU for $35.
Did you know that?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh.
He probably remembers that old horse. I don't know.
You're riding.
But it was huge. It was so big. 1948 Cadillac hearse had a World War II tank motor in it, so it would get it. For as big as it was, the bass player picked him up. We got out to the highway, up to about 50, 60 mile an hour, somewhere there. Oh God, I forgot my bass. And I went, we did a bat turn.
Oh, really?
1948 Cadillac hearse. It did a complete turnaround and just back the other way. When I looked in the rear view mirror, sitting behind me, had their hands over their face. The drummer who was sitting in the front seat over there was just like he was ready to throw up.
Well, I bet. I mean, that's a lot of metal doing it, Huey.
Yeah.
A lot of heavy metal, actually.
But we ran it we were playing at a place called the Logan House in Murfreesboro, Illinois, and we drove up in front as we always did. Got out to unload our stuff, and the people came out to the bar and said, "Guys, move your wagon around back." We said, "We always park here, it's close. Move your wagon around back." The guy that owns the bar committed suicide. We're, whoa, okay. I said, "You're still gonna be open?" They said, "Well, for tonight, but we don't know about next week." So anyway, stuff like that.
I mean, did they think y'all was gonna pick him up, or it'd been a while?
Make you wonder, wouldn't it?
Yeah, did they think y'all were there to pick the body up?
They knew who the band was, and they knew we drove a hearse.
Right.
And they knew they didn't want it parked in front of the Logan House.
That's good. Well, you know, it's a sad story for the guy who took himself out, but that's a great story.
But there was a lot of stories from that band. I mean, I could go on for 10 hours.
Was you married back then, or was you not married yet, or?
No, I wasn't married then.
Was you dating anybody?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The wife to be.
Yeah. It's hard on spouses and stuff when you're playing music.
When you're playing,
Yeah, it's hard. They have to be tougher than nails, don't they?
Well, they either understand it or they don't, and you get divorced.
Yeah. So what do you have here?
So George Harrison came to Benton, Illinois, and hung out before he was a Beatle. And I don't know, we played 2 or 3 places. Set in with 2 or 3 different bands and so on and so forth.
I heard the story about George trying to play with one band that was playing at a high school or something, and they didn't want him to play because he was just some limey kid.
Yeah, well, the Egyptian combo was run by 2 brothers, and one of them, Rick, lives in St. Louis, Linton, and his brother still does some sound things. In fact, when the state of Illinois called me about coming up there to dedicate the plaque,
Right.
they called him to do the sound for all the senators and all the political crap, you know, to make their speeches and all that stuff. Of course, Louise had to be there. Harrison, George's sister, and that's George's brother, Pete. Nobody even knew he had a brother.
I didn't know you had a brother.
Nobody
I just learned this today, as they say. I was today years old.
Yeah, well, that was taken at that time, you know, when he was in Benton.
Is that a photograph you taken, or is that just one to get off the net?
No, that's one that her husband took that photograph.
Oh.
He was a real estate man. She married him when he was a serviceman in England, and they moved back here. But anyway, they hung out, and George hung out with camping, Garden of the Gods, did a lot of things, you know, that kids do, because you're nobody.
Right.
You're just a kid growing up. We're trying to figure out how Carl Perkins played Matchbox, you know, I mean, and you still had to do it the old-fashioned way, put the 45 on and hold your finger on it so it went real slow.
Yeah, we were doing that in the 80s. I was sitting in, you know, the big 6-foot consoles, sitting in the living room, shoving the needle down to slow down to 35 so I could try to hear what was going on.
And so when the state called me to come up there, I went up there because that's when David built that bike.
Yeah.
For them to auction off. That was a white Albert bike in front of the Hard Day's Night bed and breakfast. It didn't fly.
Didn't.
Anyway, at this thing here, they put that plaque in, dedicated it, and they wanted the guys who originally played with George to do something, play a little bit, which we decided there was only 2 people left alive from the original band.
Right.
I guess as you would, we listened to the politicians for 30, 40 minutes. And they set us up back behind all the chairs where all the people were doing all these talking. And we listened to them talk for 45 minutes. Even Louise got up there and didn't say a word about George. They kept talking about themselves. The senators, the representatives. We did this, we did that. We spent all these hours trying to get this passed, blah, 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 blah. Never mentioned George. And the three of us are sitting back there going, this is bullshit. I think we ought to just pack up and leave. So we did. So when it got time for the band that played with George, they cleared away the chairs and there's nothing there. I was on my way home when Richard Kirkpatrick called me and said, hey, where you at? And I said, I left. He said, you left? I said, yeah, so did George and Gabe. We got tired of listening to the bullshit. We didn't hear one word about George, and we said to hell with it and left.
Now see, that's rock and roll. That's what rock and roll is, rebellion, and a middle finger up to society. And y'all, I'd have done the same thing. So that's a good call.
So later, they had another one in El Dorado, another history plaque.
All right.
For the VFW, where we played at the VFW. And there was a band called the Liverpool Legends that Louise was managing. And they were going to come up there and play for Town and Country Days. Thought it'd be a real good idea to do the dedication for another plaque, another history plaque. The first Beatle in America played here first. Well, the other two guys had passed away, so I'm the only one left that remotely played with George. And so I went up there, and those guys wanted to stand on the stage that George stood on. I mean, why not just go sleep in the bed where George slept? I mean,
Yeah.
But they wanted to do that, and the VFW wouldn't give them permission because it was unsafe. And you'd have to sign a waiver that if the floor gave away and you got killed, you couldn't sue them.
Right.
They finally worked it out where they would let us go up there. And took that picture of the Liverpool Legends standing on the stage where George, they're the only ones that ever did. And Louise was managing them.
Right.
But at the time that picture was taken, Louise was in really bad shape and almost ready to pass away.
Gotcha. All right, now hang on.